A surgeon, a plumber, and a retired dinner lady walk into a financial crisis. The surgeon earns the most. The plumber owns the nicest van. The dinner lady is the only one who could stop working tomorrow. So which one is upper class and which one is actually secure? Britain has spent centuries sorting people into working class, middle class, and upper class. Very efficient. We can judge your accent, your postcode, and apparently the correct number of cushions for a sofa. But none of those labels answers the question that matters when the boiler starts making a noise like a Victorian ghost. How financially secure are you? Today, we're putting Britain's class system inside a 7-floor financial security tower. By the top, you'll know your social class may describe your background, but your floor describes how much life can actually knock you about. Welcome to UK Finance Dad. Financial advice, mild exasperation, occasional bad jokes. And today, a lift that is somehow more reliable than most British trains. Before we press the button, we need to separate 3 things people constantly mix together: income, wealth, and class. Income is money arriving. Wealth is what you own minus what you owe. Class is the social world around you. Your background, work, education, tastes, networks, and the slightly dangerous confidence to pronounce scone in public. Financial security is different. It is your ability to absorb shocks, keep your choices, and survive without the next payslip arriving precisely on schedule. That matters because 1 in 10 UK adults has no cash savings at all. Another 21% has less than £1,000. And 1 in 4 has low financial resilience. So this tower is not a moral ranking. Floor 1 is not full of bad people, and Floor 7 is not reserved for financial geniuses who wake at 4:12 to journal beside an ice bath. Ground floor, crisis. Income arrives and is already spoken for. Rent, food, energy, transport, and debt take their seats before the salary has removed its coat. At this floor, a missed shift or broken appliance is not inconvenient. It can trigger borrowing, arrears, or choosing which bill gets disappointed this month. In April 2026, 23% of adults said they could not afford an unexpected but necessary £850 expense. Nearly 1 person in 4. The emergency fund is currently a deep breath and checking whether the card still works. Class does not protect you here. You can sound extremely posh while your current account makes noises normally associated with trapped wildlife. The first move is not investing, optimizing tax, or buying something called Moon Badger coin. It is stopping the next surprise from becoming new debt.
First floor, fragile. The bills are being paid. There may even be savings, but the whole arrangement depends on nothing particularly annoying happening. This household may have £600 saved, but also a £900 car repair waiting somewhere in the future, like a small mechanical ambush. 9% of adults say their savings would cover less than a week of living expenses. Among lone parents, it rises to 29%. Security is not just about income. It is about how long the bridge lasts when income stops. A fragile household can look comfortably middle class, decent salary, mortgage, 2 cars, streaming services, and enough decorative baskets to contain several smaller households. The move from fragile to stable is mostly boring. Clear expensive short-term debt, stop adding monthly commitments, and build enough cash to turn emergencies back into inconveniences. Second floor, stable. You can replace the washing machine without holding a family summit. A car repair is irritating, but it does not require a ceremonial opening of the credit card. Stable usually means a reliable income, manageable debt, and perhaps 1 to 3 months of essential spending in cash. Not wealthy, not invincible, just no longer negotiating with the toaster. This floor may include a young renter earning £35,000, an older homeowner on £25,000, or a tradesperson whose income changes every month. Salary alone cannot tell us who is safest. The median UK household had about £623 a week after housing costs in the year to March 2025.
But medians hide enormous differences in family size, region, rent, childcare, and debt. And housing changes everything. Average private rent reached £1,388 a month in June 2026. That is a rather enthusiastic amount of money for the privilege of asking permission to put up a shelf. Stable is where planning becomes possible. You can finally look beyond Friday and start giving future you some money before present you finds a takeaway menu. Third floor, secure. You have several months of essential costs, no destructive consumer debt, insurance for the disasters you cannot sensibly self-fund, and retirement saving that is more than a vague intention involving premium bonds. This is also where wealth starts doing visible work. Interest, investment growth, and employer pension contributions begin adding money you did not personally drag home from a meeting. Yet 1/3 of adults with a defined contribution pension has less than £10,000 saved, and another 12% does not know the value. Apparently, pensions are the financial equivalent of the drawer containing old cables. Important, mysterious, and rarely opened. Secure does not mean everything is paid off. A mortgage can sit comfortably here if payments are manageable, the term is sensible, and one rate rise does not require selling a child.
The secure household may still be working class, middle class, or culturally elite. It may rent, own with a mortgage, or own outright. The floor measures resilience, not whether anybody owns an Aga. By the way, if you're enjoying this, I've started putting together free UK finance tools and a weekly money letter. You can join us free at ukfinancedad.com. Now back to the video. Fourth floor, comfortable. Daily money decisions no longer feel dangerous. Holidays are paid without creating an archaeological layer of debt, and replacing the car does not require an 8-year agreement containing the phrase optional final payment. At this floor, the household is building wealth consistently. Pension, ISA, home equity, or a business are growing, and work can become less dominant even if it is not yet optional. Here is where class and wealth become especially slippery. Median household wealth in Great Britain was about £293,700, but that includes property and private pensions, not £293,700 sitting beside the kettle waiting to buy a speedboat. The richest tenth of households had at least £1.2 million of total wealth. The least wealthy tenth had £16,500 or less. That gap is not merely a nicer kitchen, it is a completely different ability to absorb risk and wait for opportunities. But location can move the scoreboard dramatically. Median household wealth was about £489,800 in the southeast and £179,900 in the northeast. Much of that difference is property, which means geography can make identical people look financially unrelated on paper. Comfortable is not private jet. It is replacing fear with planning. The boiler can break, the car can sulk, the council can send one of its mysterious £300 letters. None of them gets to redesign your life. Fifth floor, financially independent. Your assets could cover your essential lifestyle for a very long time, potentially indefinitely without employment income. This does not mean you must resign at 9:01 tomorrow and announce on LinkedIn that you are humbled to begin an exciting new chapter involving absolutely no meetings. It means redundancy, illness, or a terrible boss has lost much of its power over you. Wealth has become negotiating strength. Someone here may still call themselves working class because that identity came from parents, school, accent, and the kitchen they grew up in. Financial independence does not issue a new accent at reception. Top floor, freedom. This is independence plus abundance. Enough resources not merely to survive, but to shape time, support other people, and absorb major change without money dominating every decision. Some people imagine this floor as champagne on a yacht. Others imagine Tuesday afternoon with their children and no Teams notification.
Frankly, the second one may be harder to obtain. This floor is rare. Remember, the top tenth of households begins around £1.2 million of total wealth, and even that may include a home and pension that cannot casually pay Thursday's gas bill. Now step back and look at the whole tower. The floors do not line up neatly with Britain's classes. They cut straight through them.
A consultant on £180,000 can live on the fragile floor if every pound supports mortgages, school fees, cars, and a lifestyle that collapses with the job. A retired dinner lady on a modest pension can live on the comfortable floor if the home is paid off, spending is low, and savings are strong. And a traditional working-class homeowner may have more net wealth than a young professional earning twice as much, simply because one bought a house decades ago and the other is currently renting half a kitchen in London. More than half of people owned a home by age 36 in 2022. In 2004, that milestone came at 32. The ladder did not disappear, but somebody moved the first rung higher while insisting young people simply climb properly. So which floor are you on? Forget your job title, accent, and what your car suggests to traffic lights. Answer 4 questions. Question 1. If every household income stopped tomorrow, how long could you cover essential costs? Less than a week, a month, 6 months, several years, or indefinitely? Question 2. Could you cover an £850 emergency today without borrowing, selling investments at the wrong time, or making the rest of the month miserable? Question 3. Are your long-term assets growing every month, or is future you currently surviving on good intentions and a workplace pension login last seen in 2018? Question 4. How much choice do you really have? Could you reduce your hours, leave a toxic job, help a relative, or take 3 months away without the entire structure collapsing? If you are on crisis or fragile, the goal is not to leap to freedom by Friday. It is to move one floor, stabilize bills, create a small buffer, and stop expensive debt growing. If you are stable or secure, protect the base and start making wealth automatic. Pension match, monthly ISA, sensible insurance, and fewer commitments that quietly become permanent. If you are comfortable or independent, the question changes from "How do I get more?" to "What is enough?" and "What is this money for?" Otherwise, wealth can become a scoreboard nobody ever finishes. Britain's old class labels still tell us something. They tell us where people came from, who they know, how they speak, and which biscuit they consider acceptable for guests. But they do not tell us whether the roof survives a lost job, whether retirement is funded, or whether somebody can walk away when life turns unpleasant. That is why the surgeon can be fragile, the plumber can be secure, and the retired dinner lady can be the richest person in the room. Not because she earns the most, but because she needs the next payslip least. Your class may be inherited, your income may depend on the economy, your wealth will move with markets and house prices. But financial security can still be built, one floor at a time. So tell me in the comments, which floor are you on? And which floor are you aiming for next? No need to share numbers. We are building financial security, not conducting a public audit. If this helped you see money differently, subscribe to UK Finance Stat. Financial advice, mild exasperation, occasional bad jokes. And Badger, stop pressing every button. We have discussed this.